Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Crush Cravings Before Diabetes Crushes You. I'm your host, Karen Sammer. I'm a board-certified health and wellness coach, and I help people who are overweight and pre-diabetic to crush the cravings that keep them overweight so they can lose the weight and avoid a lifetime of medication. So today we're going to talk about hydration. Now, here on the East Coast, we're in the middle of what they call a heat dome. And apparently a heat dome is a new name for heat wave that we're under a pretty large dome for. All up and down the East Coast, we're having pretty high temperatures. And although it is very important all times of the year, hydration is really important when you are in this type of weather. Because it's so easy to become dehydrated and not even realize it. Because you don't have to feel thirsty to be dehydrated. And when it happens, it can have a significant impact on your body. So today we're going to focus on what that means with respect to weight loss, with respect to managing your blood sugar, and just your general health. So let's get started. So let's start with weight loss, or you're managing your weight. Proper hydration can significantly impact your ability to lose weight in a very positive way. One of the things, and I have found this in my own experience, if I am thirsty, I tend to eat more. I tend to have less energy to do anything. I tend to be tired. I tend to be edgy. I don't feel myself. And I don't necessarily have to be thirsty, but if I am dehydrated, these things happen to me. But when you have proper hydration and you're trying to lose weight, it helps you with your calorie intake. So very often, thirst masquerades as hunger. You may feel like you're hungry, but actually all you need is a drink of water. So if you find that you are in a situation where you're hungry, but you don't necessarily think you should be because you've just eaten recently, or you've consumed enough food, or it's late at night and you want to go to bed, have a glass of water and see if that doesn't help you to quell that hunger feeling. And if you drink adequate water during the day, and by adequate water, I mean take your body weight, divide that number in half, and drink that number of ounces of water every day. Now, if you're nowhere near that at this point, you might want to work your way up to it. I wouldn't go from 0 to top number, whatever that might be. But if you are consuming water during the day, gradually work your intake up to the point where you are at half your body weight in ounces of water. So it will help you to reduce your caloric intake because you won't feel hungry all the time. It will keep your belly full for a bit. And it will also keep your body doing what it's supposed to be doing. And you're going to get hunger cues when they are appropriate to get, as opposed to just getting them because you're thirsty. So drinking water, and I'm not talking about soda, I'm not talking about flavored beverages. If you drink plain water, there are no calories. It does nothing except hydrate you. And that way you're not getting extra calories from, say, soda, because diet soda, or even diet soda, regular soda, those are not substitutes for water. They are actually quite the opposite. And they tend to dehydrate you. They also have a horrible impact on your gut health, on your blood sugar, on all kinds of things. And that goes with regular soda and diet soda. So stay away from soft drinks and use water whenever you possibly can. If you need to flavor your water, put a little fruit juice in it. Infuse it with maybe strawberries. You can get a water bottle that has an infuser in the middle, so that's a tube in the middle where you can put some fruit. And the water will be around that, and that way you'll get the flavor of the fruit if plain water doesn't make you happy. If you want something that's got a little fizz to it, you can drink some seltzer. I wouldn't drink it often, but you can drink because the carbonation actually is acidic. and that causes can cause inflammation in large quantities. So, drinking plain uncarbonated water is really your best bet. And infusing it with fruit is not going to hurt you. Put some mint leaves in there for some refreshment. It'll make it even more cooling. So, drinking plenty of water, like before a meal. If you drink a glass of water before a meal, you may not eat as much. If you drink a glass of water before you decide to eat a snack, to make sure it's not thirst that you're feeling, that may keep you from consuming more calories than you need. So, drinking water as sort of a precursor to consuming food will help you to reduce your caloric intake. Drinking water also helps you to boost your metabolism. So if you drink enough water, your metabolic processes, the function of your metabolism is more effective and more efficient. And what happens is when you're dehydrated, it causes your metabolism to slow down because your metabolism is what keeps your body going. And if you are in a deficit of anything, if you're in a deficit of food or a deficit of water, then your body is going to start shutting down its system so it can conserve what there is in there. And your body's only job on this planet is to stay alive. And it will do what it has to do to stay alive. So that means shutting things down or really reducing things, in this case your metabolism, in order for you not to use up all your reserves. Then that's what's going to happen. So keeping your reserves filled up, like plenty of water, is going to keep your metabolism going at a healthy rate. And also, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you drink plenty of water, you will not experience water weight gain like you might otherwise. Bloating, puffiness, oftentimes depending on different times in your cycle, women's cycles, it is often that we gain weight from water, just water retention. And your body is going to hold on to water if it thinks it's not going to get enough. But water acts as a diuretic, which means that it will help you to release the water. And you will not experience that weight gain, that water weight gain. But as long as you're not giving your body proper hydration, it is going to hold on to whatever it is it gets from your food and from whatever beverages you do drink. It's going to hold on to whatever it has because it doesn't know when the next source of water is going to come its way. It also helps you to reduce weight fluctuations due to water weight gain. So when you are not retaining water, your weight will stay pretty static as long as you're maintaining. If your goal is to maintain the weight that you are, it will help you to maintain that weight because you won't be experiencing those water fluctuations. If you want to lose weight, it's going to help you to, again, reduce your caloric intake so that you are eating less calories than you need to burn for the day, and therefore losing weight. So if you're in a calorie deficit and you're drinking enough water, what happens is your body will burn the fat that you have, and then the water that you're consuming will help to wash out the toxins and all the residual, the ash, essentially, from burning the fat. Water also helps to aid in your digestion and detoxing. As I said, it helps to move the toxins out of your body. When you are drinking plenty of water, it will take those toxins out through your urine, through your feces. It will take all of that stuff out of your body through your sweat. If you're not drinking enough water, you may not perspire enough. And in the heat, it's very important that you perspire to maintain your body temperature. So when you're drinking plenty of water, not only are you digesting more effectively, but you're also detoxifying more effectively. And when you're digesting your food, the residual, what's left, you're burning you're using up the food, but there is going to be a residual. You want to wash that out of your system, and the water helps you to do that. Drinking plenty of water also helps you to eliminate or at least reduce your food cravings. Now, if you use some of the other tools that I have provided to you in the past for reducing cravings, and you add plenty of water, you may find that not only do the cravings are reduced, but they may actually just go away. And when my clients work with me, when we find the magic bullet for them, to make those cravings go away, then weight loss is so much easier for them. So making sure that, again, when you have a craving or when you feel like you're hungry, if you drink a glass of water first, you may find that that is indeed not the case, that you're not hungry. It's just merely that you're thirsty. Now, as I have said, the conventional wisdom for many years, has been drinking 8 ounce glasses of water a day. So essentially 64 ounces or half a gallon of water a day, regardless of your size. And the newer wisdom, and really makes more sense to me, is using your body weight to determine your needs. Because depending on, of course, this bars any kidney malfunctions or any other reason that you might have to restrict your water intake. But if you have a normal metabolism, normal kidney function, taking your body weight and using that as the gauge for how much water you should consume makes a lot more sense to me than just a blanket 8 ounces or 64 ounces of water a day. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So on the topic of food cravings, it is really important. One of the things that I have found with my clients is they are not in touch with their body and their hunger cues and their satiety cues, and they often will just eat out of habit, eat because it's a certain time of day, eat because they're tired, they're sad, they're bored, they're angry, they're happy, it's Tuesday, whatever their reason is for just mindlessly eating. And so when you're dehydrated, those issues are amplified because now you're not feeling well. You're physically not feeling well. You may not even recognize that as an ill feeling. It just may be your constant state, so you don't notice it necessarily. But when you're consuming enough water, that state may change, and you may have the presence of mind to be able to identify when you are truly hungry versus you are thirsty or you are bored or you are angry or whatever those things are that trigger you to eat foods that you would not necessarily be happy about if you were in a positive frame of mind on the right path to your wellness goals. So just understanding when you're thirsty versus when you're hungry versus when you're all those other things is really important, and water will help you to do that, believe it or not. Another thing it does is it helps you to regulate your hunger hormones. So part of the understanding your body's cues, the hunger and the satiety cues, those are regulated, those particular cues are regulated by your hormones, your ghrelin and your leptin. Your ghrelin is your hunger hormone, which goes into overdrive if you're lacking sleep, if you're stressed, if you've got all kinds of stuff going on in your life, if you're not consuming the foods that are going to nourish you. Your ghrelin goes into overdrive and your leptin goes to sleep. So leptin is your satiety hormone. And if you become leptin resistant, you're not recognizing that. Satiety hormone. Your brain does not recognize that you've been fed, time to stop, and you just keep going. And especially if you're consuming foods that are not giving you the nutritional value that you need, then you end up still craving because you still need those nutrients. Your body's still expecting nutrients to come, and it's not getting them. So feeding yourself appropriately, drinking plenty of water, getting enough rest, managing your stress in a healthy way. These are all ways to help to regulate your hunger hormones. And when you're dehydrated, those things can certainly be out of balance. All of that stuff can certainly be out of balance. So important, again, to stay hydrated. It also helps to reduce blood sugar spikes. So when you're drinking plenty of water, or you're hydrated enough, your blood sugar tends to stay a little bit more on an even keel.
Let's go way back when. I didn't even know you couldn't have been too much more than 10. I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no doctor with degrees, but it don't take too much time to see what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do to me, yeah. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Oh, freedom.
when you're dehydrated, if you've eaten, the spike in your blood sugar can be much more dramatic. And then the opposite effect, the drop, will also be dramatic. That's when you feel that discomfort, that hangry feeling. So when that happens, typically when you go up and then your blood sugar drops below equilibrium, then it is when you start to crave the snack foods, the refined carbohydrates, the sugary things, the unhealthy fats, those types of things that satisfy momentarily. They satisfy that desire momentarily because it elevates your blood sugar again. And then, but of course, after that happens, there's the dramatic drop until below equilibrium, and then you keep going up and down all over the map, and you end up with ultimately you can end up with metabolic syndrome, then insulin resistance, and then diabetes. And so, if your body's in that constant state of up and down, so it's important to manage your blood sugar level in a healthy way, and consuming enough water will contribute to that effort. As I said before, it also helps you to prevent overeating. It helps you to prevent consuming more calories than you actually need. Because when you are thirsty rather than hungry, but your body says, I'm hungry, if you drink a glass of water, sometimes that will take care of it and you don't even need the snack. Or if you need the snack, you don't need as much of it. Or you have the presence of mind to make a healthier choice than just grabbing whatever is in front of your face at the moment. And water can also provide a substitute. So if you habitually reach for a snack or something to chomp on, eat, chew on, if you drink water, pick up your water glass instead, that may be enough. That may be enough to satisfy you. It's just that habitual movement from hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. And if you can substitute water for eating the snack, then you are certainly better off than eating the snack, especially if the snack is not something that's going to be helpful. And it doesn't take a lot of dehydration. You don't have to be severely dehydrated to experience these things. You just need to be mildly dehydrated. When that happens, you are likely to experience some or all of these symptoms, and drinking a glass or two of water can help to alleviate them. How simple is that? So you really want to make sure that you are consuming enough water so that all these things are in balance. Your blood sugar is in balance. Your hunger and satiety hormones are balanced. All of the things. It helps you to manage your stress, because dehydration just causes you to be even more stressed. It helps you to get better sleep, because if you're dehydrated, you're not sleeping well. And you may have very lucid dreams that may not be that great. And it just because as you go through the night, your body becomes more and more dehydrated, because the water's coming out through your breath, through respiration. It's coming out through perspiration. It's evaporating from you, so that when you wake up every morning, you're perpetually dehydrated. Every morning you're dehydrated. So first thing what you might want to consider is first thing in the morning is to drink an 8-ounce glass of water before you start your day, and see what that does for you. Now, I like to, especially in the wintertime, I like to have warm lemon water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It is nice and warm and comforting, and it also is a detoxifier for your liver and your kidneys. And on an empty stomach, it's even more effective. So starting your day like that, hydrating yourself with a nice big mug of warm lemon water, and if that doesn't make you happy, you can drink cold water. It's just cold. For me, cold water in the morning is very shocking, and I don't really love that. But warm water, I can manage that. I like that, actually. It's very, very soothing. Great way to start your day. And then finally, I want to talk about how hydration or dehydration affects your blood sugar. This is very important, especially if you are in a situation where your blood sugar is in the danger zone or inching its way up to the danger zone, and you want to keep it managed in natural ways. And one of the contributing factors is whether you're drinking enough water or not. When you're dehydrated, your blood is also dehydrated. So it doesn't have the water content in it normally would. It gets thicker. and your blood sugars rise, it gets more concentrated. Everything is more concentrated because there's no water in there to dilute the effect. So your blood sugar levels will rise. And so when you're dehydrated, your body tries to move the water into your bloodstream to make up for that lack of fluid. And then what it does is it concentrates the blood, and the blood is, and therefore everything in the blood is more concentrated, including the blood sugar. And that will ultimately lead you to higher blood sugar levels. So if you are, for instance, if you're checking your blood sugar and you do it in a dehydrated state, it is going to show up higher than it might otherwise show. So if you are going to drink a glass of water, I would drink a glass of water in the morning and see where your blood sugar is in a more healthy state. And if you have to check your sugar every morning before you start your day because you're in the danger zone, then I would definitely have a glass of water before you do that. And when you're drinking water, you dilute the blood sugar, as I said. It just helps to thin your blood. It helps to loosen your blood up. It's not so thick. It's been diluted. Everything in it is diluted, including your blood sugar. So drinking things like water, plain water, or herbal tea, even coffee or tea without anything in it, just black coffee or tea, is good for consuming. It's good for liquid consumption. I wouldn't do it as your primary source of liquid, but certainly it can contribute to your liquid intake. So making sure that you are keep drinking, and when I say drinking, it's drinking things that don't contain sugar. It's drinking black tea, black coffee, herbal teas, water, more water than anything. Infused water is good. Some carbonated water, not a lot, not flavored, because when it's flavored, unless you're flavoring it yourself, it's usually flavored with something called natural flavorings, and there is really nothing that indicates what is in those natural flavorings. So they may not be something that you would want to consume if you knew exactly what was made up of those natural flavorings. And unfortunately, we don't have the labeling laws that require the food companies to identify what those natural flavorings are. So until we have that, then we are kind of in the dark as to what goes into those catch-all categories. So another thing that drinking plenty of water does for you with respect to your blood sugar is it helps you keep your kidneys going and doing what they're supposed to do, because your kidneys have a huge impact on whether or not you keep your blood sugar in a healthy level. So your kidneys will regulate your blood sugar by filtering and reabsorbing the glucose. So what it does is helps it filters out the glucose and then reabsorbs it in the way it needs to be reabsorbed. And when you're not fully hydrated, your kidneys can't function the way they need to. So then you have a buildup of this glucose in your blood, leading to high blood sugar. And when your kidneys are functioning properly, they're doing their job, and the glucose is being managed the way it is meant to be managed. And when you're dehydrated, also, you are causing your blood sugar to fluctuate in ways that you don't want it to fluctuate. You want to keep it at a steady keel. You want to keep it, it rises somewhat when you eat, and then it comes down to natural levels. But this is when your blood sugar is healthy and functioning the way it's supposed to. It's when it spikes incredibly and then dips below equilibrium that's when you start to have the problems. So keeping yourself hydrated helps you to keep that even keel. It contributes, doesn't do all of the job, but it contributes to making sure that you are keeping your blood sugar in the healthy range. So it also helps to decrease the variability. It helps to keep it again on that healthy, that kind of even Steven plane. So essentially, drinking plenty of water, eating the foods that are going to nourish you properly, eliminating or at least minimizing refined carbohydrates and sugary, high-fat foods, not high bad fat foods, and getting plenty of exercise, managing your stress, getting plenty of sleep. These things all contribute to blood sugar maintenance and blood sugar equilibrium. And so when you are, again, drinking plenty of fluids, you are contributing to that effort of keeping your blood sugar where it needs to be. So the bottom line is, and especially when we're in a heat wave like we are now on the East Coast, it is really imperative that you drink plenty of clean, filtered water, if you can get it, but plenty of water. And if you don't have water, drinking beverages that are not going to contribute to bad health. So drinking beverages like herbal tea. If you have herbal tea, you probably have water. But drinking, if water doesn't throw you, you can mix it up a little bit with herbal teas and put some ice in it, call it iced tea. Or you can even drink black tea and black coffee. But also be careful with those things because they have a lot of acid. There's tannic acid in the black tea, and there's acid in coffee as well. Both of those can be okay when you're in a healthy body. They can be okay in moderation. You don't want them to be the sole source of your hydration, though. So green tea is really good. It's got a lot of antioxidants in it. It's got other things that are beneficial for you. So drinking green tea instead of black tea, or instead, substituting some of your coffee. I know so many of us are addicted to our morning coffee. And it's the ritual. It's not just the coffee itself. It's not just the caffeine, although that's a major contributor. But it's the ritual, it's the warmth, it's the routine, it's your habit. And it's a very comforting thing to know that you're going to start your day with your cup of coffee. And that's great. Do it. Go for it. Don't drink a gallon of coffee every day because that's going to really rock your adrenals. But it also causes other problems in your body. But if you have 1 cup of coffee, maybe 2 cups of coffee a day, and then the rest of the day you drink water or herbal tea or water, you just drink plenty of water, then you're fine. That's great. And then, but making sure that you stay hydrated is so important. And if you are finding yourself drinking lots of water and possibly maybe feeling like you're still not getting enough, sometimes you might be needing electrolytes, especially in the heat, because as you sweat, you're sweating out your electrolytes, your potassium, your sodium, your magnesium. You're sweating all that stuff out. So it's important to make sure that you are replenishing your electrolytes. So get an electrolyte additive, but you can get that, or you can eat certain foods that give you the electrolytes that you need. Eat a banana. Eat some celery. These are things that have plenty of magnesium and potassium and sodium in them. So, eating some veggies that will replace those, or get an electrolyte additive that doesn't have sugar in it and is not sweetened with anything except stevia. Actually, if it's not sweetened at all, it's even better. But again, making sure that you're replenishing your electrolytes in this heat, because if you're working outside, if you are exercising hard in this kind of heat, make sure that you are getting plenty of fluid and also replenishing your electrolytes. And so with that, I am happy to offer anybody who is listening a free consultation. And all you have to do is go to my website, www.yourpoweryourhealth.com/book, and sign up for a free, no strings attached consultation where we look at where you are, we look at what your goals are, and I give you the action steps to get there. If you think working with me is a good idea, we'll talk about that. If not, no big deal. You'll still walk away with some action steps that will help you to get you started on your healthy journey. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to put them underneath this post in the Facebook group. And I will be back. I'm Karen Sammer, your Power Your Health, Nutrition and Health Coaching, and I am a board certified health and wellness coach, here to help you to lose weight and avoid diabetes. Have a great day.
Freedom.